Alright, you're about to watch my video, and the audio on my microphone settings was kind of messed up, so it didn't record properly. So enjoy the video, plug through the messed up audio. I did the best I could at editing. What I don't need is you to go into the comments and tell me how to fix it, because it's already fixed. And I don't need help on how to fix something after the fact. I need help while it's happening. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys, Aaron here with For the Love of Tech, and today I would like to welcome you back to my channel. That is right. Maybe you just watched the video and you see I'm wearing the same shirt. Don't hate, don't judge. It's called batch recording. Get over yourself. What we're doing today is we're going to take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Active Watch, and we're going to compare it to the Samsung Galaxy Watch. Let's take a look and see what the differences are between these two devices, and more importantly, what has been my experience as a consumer using them. Because you might be thinking to yourself, which one should I get? Which one is better for you? Which one is better for me? Because I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here, but we definitely need to dive deep and take a look at these beautiful Samsung watches and see which one is best for you. Here we're going to take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Watch and the Samsung Galaxy Active Watch. The big question is, which one of these watches is best for you? I want to go ahead and run through some key differences and some things to kind of be aware of before you make a decision and you decide which one is best for you. While these are both Samsung Galaxy watches, they're very different. And the first thing I want to talk about, the big difference, is the display. This one is obviously smaller, whereas this one is bigger, and it has this big bezel that brings up all sorts of different menus depending on which way you slide it and what screen you're on. This one doesn't really have that. If you want to go ahead and get to your apps, you got to hit that button, and then when you get to an app menu that you want to keep going to, you just kind of, sorry, I'm doing this upside down. You just kind of got to hit the next little arrows to get the next group of apps. My personal preference, my opinion on these two watches, comparing them side by side, I much rather the size of this watch. However, I feel this one looks better, and I don't know if it's because it has this deep black bezel around it that just makes it look really rich and inviting to me. This, it feels a little old-fashioned to me. It feels like, you know, Samsung could have changed it, but they really didn't. So that's kind of my take on the screen of the watches. I have them both up to maximum brightness at the moment, so let's see if we can find a watch face that is very similar between the two of these. This one comes with different watch faces, as you can see, but some of them are kind of similar, just so you can kind of get a side-by-side of the different colors in them. Again, just looking at it, even though this one's smaller, I think it's given us a better color. The screen on this little one, the Active, I opened it up, I'm like, wow, this is nice. I was impressed by it. On both of the watches, like I just showed you, if you want to go ahead and change your watch face, you can download a whole bunch of them, or you can pick from the ones that it comes with. And then there's even some third-party designer type watches that you can also pick up too. Obviously with the bigger screen, you can see everything better. It's not that you can get more information on this one, but you can see it a little better compared to this one. On the Active Watch, you can see it has another little swipe over menu, and it doesn't have that here. And I checked in the settings and I've looked, and I think it's just a feature with this watch OS. But I actually find it really handy because you always can, of course, come over here, long press. You can arrange these like you would your menu bar on your Android phone, which, again, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate, this is not running Android OS, Watch OS. This is Tizen, which is Samsung's own little happy brand, which I actually think is pretty darn good. And the most impressive thing about Tizen is the battery, which is the next thing I'm going to talk to you about these two watches. This battery right here on this one, the active, will get me through a day of use. 1 day, that's it. It will get me through a day. Whereas this battery will get me through at least 2 days with 25-30% left. You heard me correct. I can go 2 complete sleep cycles with this watch without having to charge it, which is phenomenal in itself. Great job, Samsung. Great job. You guys killed it there. Now, a couple other things about this watch. This one does have a speaker, and it has an active speakerphone feature, which means if somebody calls me, I can take a call on my wrist. I do not have the 4G version of this. I've gotten 2 separate 4G versions of these watches in the past. Previous models, wasn't happy. Total gimmick, not necessary, kind of confusing. Sometimes my phone number wouldn't be connected and it had its own digital SIM phone number that it would send a text message from, and people would always respond with, "Who is this?" I'd be like, "It's Aaron." So I found it to be kind of a gimmick. My phone is usually with me. If my phone's not with me, we probably have a problem. It's an emergency in itself. The 4G is not necessary for you or me or anybody. So if you have the option of getting it at the same price, maybe you get it just to have it. It'll help maybe on resale if you ever get rid of it. But in my opinion, you don't need it. But this one you can make calls through, and you can also talk to through it. This one, all you can do is tell your phone to answer the phone call. So that's kind of weird. I would think that Samsung wouldn't take away that key feature, but they did. They took away that feature, so there's really nothing we can do about it. All right, we are at our home screens on both watches right now. What we're going to do is a little Hey Bixby test, and we're going to see which one can do something the quickest. It also will give us a little idea as to how Hey Bixby works on Tizen. Now, full disclosure, this watch is operating on a standalone, but you can see it is connected to the Wi-Fi. And you can see the little Wi-Fi is lit up. So this is connected to the Wi-Fi right now. We double tap the bottom right button and Bixby should come on. 1, 2, 3. What time is it? Now you saw the active watch was able to activate Bixby and answer the question, while this one was still thinking about it. Well, maybe it's because this one's connected to the phone and this one's connected to the Wi-Fi. Let's try it again. What time is it? It's pretty crazy. The watch doesn't even come on, whereas the active is like, wow, we're active. We got things to do. We got places to go. So here in the Samsung app, you can pick which device you want to use. So I have on here auto switch, but it doesn't really work well, and I want you to know that right here. See, there's auto switch and it's on. So these don't auto switch, and I'm here to tell you. I have to come over here and tell it which one I want it to be connected to. So now we're going to connect the phone to the watch. So this just said, okay, we're dead. We're not connected anymore. And this one is coming on. So they're both connected to the Wi-Fi. Let's give them another try. All right. 1, 2, 3. What time is it? So this one, now that it is connected to the phone, is giving us the answer a lot quickly, whereas this one has an error. It's unable to answer. So big difference. The functionality, if it's a standalone connected to the Wi-Fi versus connected to your phone, big difference. What's today's date? All right, so pretty quick on this one. Another little feature that I think is on the active watch that is not on the watch, and maybe it's on both, but I think we can pair our Galaxy Buds to these things, and we can download music directly from Spotify, whatever music service you have that has an app that connects to Tizen, and we might be able to listen right here through our buds, through our watch. Let's go ahead and give it a try and let's see how hard it is to set up, and more importantly, how does it sound? So there's a little headphone button right there, and it says, look, buds paired. So I think if I open these up, connected, okay, let's find our Spotify, and let's see if we can actually get music from the watch into here. So here you can see the little music is playing, and you can see the little headphones are going. It's pretty cool. So you come over here, you hit that, and you just disconnect them, and then once that happened, they immediately, you didn't see it, but immediately came back over to my Galaxy S10 Plus and said, hey, these are now paired over here. So there is a nice little ecosystem integration there, a little bit Apple-esque, if I don't mind saying so myself, which, you know, they do that integration right. So I'm glad Samsung is picking up on that, and I'm glad Samsung is saying, hey, we need more of that with our products. And I'm even more excited for Samsung that they're now making products that we can use within this itty bitty little baby Samsung ecosystem. It's not big. It's nothing like Apple. Might not ever be, but they're starting to go that way. So we can't check to see how they sound. I'm sure they sound the same, but once Samsung buds are paired to something, I checked the instructions on the internet. It's not super easy to unpair it and get it to go to something else. So that's something that they need to work on, Samsung. You need to give me like a button, a pair button. All right, the next step is let's take a look and see if these can be power shared. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Phenomenal. So that power shares no problem. That one power shares too. Easy peasy, that's pretty good. Here in this hand, we have the Samsung Galaxy Watch. This hand, we have the Samsung Galaxy Active Watch. Both watches are completely different, yet they function completely identical to one another. They have the same nice, smooth, snappy operating system made by Samsung, Tizen, and they both have amazing battery lives. However, this watch will give you about an extra day of battery, whereas this one will only get me through about a whole day, and maybe if I'm lucky, through one sleep cycle, and that's about it. So, if you're wondering which one did I wear the most, well, I change the watches every single day. As you saw, it's pretty easy to swap back and forth on the phone which watch you're using. There is a feature called auto detect. It does not work well. Does not work well for me at all. Let me just say that. If one watch is completely out of range, it will automatically connect to the other watch, but it doesn't work as described. And it is described to auto detect which watch is on your wrist. Never once did that work for me. So I would always have to go in and turn it on and activate. There were a couple times I went out of the house, went about my day at the office, all that stuff, and I didn't even realize my watch wasn't connected to my phone. So Samsung, you definitely have some work to do there. You're going in the right direction, but you're not quite there yet. I prefer this screen over this screen. If we could somehow get this battery with even the watch face, but this beautiful displays. It's different. I'm here to tell you, they're not the same displays. This one looks a heck of a lot better. This one doesn't look bad at all. It's no slouch. But if I had to pick which one do you want and why, I think I'm gonna go with this one. It feels more like a watch. I get the added benefit, even though I find this old technology with that moving bezel, I still prefer it, and I want the extra battery life. But this is thin. I barely could feel it on my wrist. I would use it as my alarm clock if I needed to wake up from a nap. There's a lot of things for you to consider. There's a lot of different options out there when it comes to smartwatches, especially when it comes to Android. I would encourage you, if you have a Samsung phone, stay within the Samsung watches. It's going to make your life easier. Enjoy the ecosystem. Enjoy the fluidity of everything working together. It's not just reserved for the Apple users and the Apple lovers of the world. It's for everybody. So when you find a brand and a product, go all in. Go deep. Enjoy it. Immerse yourself in it. And for the love of tech, thanks for watching. Until next time, namaste.